So Everybody Wants You by Billy Squier. This is from his 1982 album Motions in Motion. And for me, this is like probably my favorite song of his. He had a lot of good songs, and I did my other favorite of his, which was Lonely as the Night a couple of weeks ago. And I wanted to do this one because for me, I think this is a better song. I really like this song. And it's a great example of, it's not complicated. This lesson's not going to take very long because the parts are pretty easy to play. But it's the way that they're put together and also the way they're recorded. Like they're all split up. There's a ton of layering going on. And in my video, you probably, if you come this far, you saw the beginning where I think at one point I had like 5 guitars on screen. I got a little carried away with this one, but I couldn't help it because there's all these parts and it's like, you have to use separate guitars to make them work. Anyways, I'll kind of go over that as we go along. And the sound I'm using on this, I'm using my Kemper again, and I'm using the same profile that I used on Lonely as the Night, which is made by Top Jimmy, and it's a 74 Marshall Super Lead. So I have no association with this guy, Top Jimmy. I don't even know what his real name is. It doesn't matter. He makes great profiles, so I'd highly recommend if you have a Kemper getting some of his stuff. And I've got a little bit of delay on that and a little bit of reverb. And for the main part, I've got my coil switch here up, so it's just single coil, just to give it a little more bite. And then in the lower part, I went full humbucker. All right. So we're in the key of A, and there's 2 main guitar parts. And the intro is going to be like this. That's the main right channel guitar. So what we're doing is we're going to get the E note on B5 and the A note on G2. You could go, just open G. I like to do it better here. I got the G there. It's all downstrokes. And then when we hit that C on G5, we're going to put a little hook on it. And then we get into the main lick. And what's funny on the record is that the beginning, that section there, the BPM is 137. And then when the drums come in, it goes right down to 131. So the beginning is way faster than the rest of the song. And then we've got this A chord. And I'm pretty sure that he's doing all downstrokes on this. We're just grabbing the G note on E3, putting a little tiny bend on that. What I did is I upstroked that. I don't think it matters if you downstroke or upstroke. I like the sound of the upstroke better, but I think he's doing it all downstrokes. And then, well, I guess we'll just carry on with this guitar, and then we'll double back and we'll do the second guitar. And now we're going to go. So we've got G, a G over D. We've got the last 4 strings to a D, and then we're going to double the bass here. Every night. All right, just love that lick. So it's just pentatonic. Now you could go bend with your first finger there. I use 10s, so they're a little thicker, and I like to get my 3rd finger in there, so I like to go. And that also sets me up better to be down here again now, right? That's the second time. we're back into that A chord, all right? Now we're going to grab this G note, put a little hook on it, and we're into this E chord. Now I'm just going to fret the E chord like that. I'm actually muting the G string with that part of my finger, right? And the lick is going to be... All right, that's great guitar playing. It's so simple, but really effective. That's a push on G5, down to A2, G2, A note, G2. And then a little push on the G note on D5, back to the A note on G2. And then we've got this little lick. Open E, 3, 4. Back to the E chord. So far it's... And then we've got G, just like a power chord, right? No third in there, muting that out. Everybody wants you. And that's, you know, we've got almost the whole song here. There's not much to it. It's just the way it's layered and just more the attitude and sound than anything else and feel, right? Then I think you do another verse and... Everybody wants you. And we've got the middle bit. And one guitar is just holding a D. Like that, right? Another guitar is going C, C, D, A, G. 3, 3, 2, open, 3. Bum, bum, and then we've got this big E chord. Again, I mean, I could play it like that, like hang it like that, muting that G string, right? Get the massive power chord. And then we've got, it's like a D sus2. And then we just pull up on E2, back to this. So one guitar's doing that, the other's... Now another guitar is going... Right, just that D sus2, like so. And then you've got another guitar way up high. This is on the 14th of G. So it's like a D chord there, right? 15th of B and 14th of E, but like that, right? So it's be actually the 17th of E. And he's going... And there's a little chorus on this, and what I've done, I didn't put chorus on this part here, but in the demo I did. I've got my volume way down here to 3. And also, what I did on my demo is I picked it way back here. It's a huge difference just where you pick. Like if I pick that here, I pick it here, a little brighter, but back here, you know. So a lot of times just getting sounds is just, you know, changing how you pick soft, loud, hard, or soft, I should say, or where you pick, right? Like the difference between that and that. You know, it's like you don't need a pedal for any of this stuff. You just change where you play on the guitar. All right, so those are all the parts there. And then, while one guitar is doing that massive power chord, the other guitar is doing it up here. So we've got that open B, open E. massive power chord, and then we're gonna. So we've got 7, 7, 5, and then the open. And I'm muting the B and the E because I really just want those. You could hit E if you wanted there, because it's all over E. That's like a D sus2 over E. But I think it sounds better without the low E string in the second chord. And then this part here is where those 3 guitars come in. The main guitar is like here. That's just on the 12th fret of the E string. Unison bend. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, right? And then there's another guitar comes in. So we've got the 3rd there on the 9th fret of the B string. Unison bend with the G string. Da 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 da. First guitar is, and then there's another guitar that just goes up here and plays the 3rd on the 16th fret, unison bend. So it's like 1, 2, 3, just the last 3. So that's the first guitar, and then do do do. Second guitar, and do 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 do. It's so good, right? When you layer those parts, they just sound so strong and so powerful. Now, if you're playing this live, I'd probably just go there. But then you got to get way the hell down there to get that bend. But you can do it live. It doesn't matter. You can have these little gaps, and because the energy of live, the volume, the visuals, the whole thing, it's a different experience than making a record kind of thing, right? Now let's double back and let's do the second guitar. So the second guitar is going to start the song like this. The G note on D5, and then open A and the A note on D7. And then we're going to kind of double stop the G and the B on the 5th, little hook on it. Now, we've got that. So how do you go from this? Da-da-da-da, right? Well, you can't, because they're on top of each other. So here again is where you layer the guitars. So that guitar actually stops there. And then you overdub this. And if you listen, you can hear that. There's stereo guitars coming in just on that part. Now, if I was doing this live, I'd go... I just hit the D and the G there. Like so. It's a cheat, but again, live it doesn't really matter. Especially if you got the other guy. It's not a problem down there. It's easy to get to that chord. And that guitar just holds. Again. Then we're going to double up that bend. And we're just going to pump these chords. So G, A. And we do that same lick. everybody wants you. And at the same time, there's another guitar. Like, the first one's going. There's another guitar in there just going. Just to kind of balance out the stereo image and to emphasize that. So that's an overdub guitar. Everybody wants you. And in the last verse, that changes and he harmonizes it. So he's going to play the root and the third on the 9th fret, G and B. And put a little vibrato on that. And then the second time he's going to add the 5th. And again, you try and get a little vibrato. A little weirder getting vibrato with all three. And then we've already explained that. So coming out of that, we just harmonized that. So we're just D to E, 5/7. And at the same time, we've got this octave part comes in. Like I said, all the parts are dead easy, but it's the way they're orchestrated that and layered just makes it sound so great. Like that, right? And then it's just repetition, same things that we already know. And then coming out of one of the later verses, instead of we're going to hit the harmony, you have to listen to the record to find out where that comes in, but that's definitely there in one of the later verses. I think I've covered everything. There's only one thing I missed, and that was at the very beginning, where it's... There's an overdub guitar that just does that. Again, live, you're just gonna fake that, But on the record, that's definitely overdubbed. I mean, you can probably tell. I really like this song, and I really like the way rock guitar, the way you break it up, layer the parts, split them, pan them left, right. It just creates this massive sound that you just can't get when you're playing one guitar in a band kind of thing, right? Like I say, I hope you get something out of this. I hope you enjoy playing it, and we'll talk to you next time.